Happy Devils Sunday. This is the Let's Go Devils podcast, Sunday edition. I am your host, Sam Wu, here with Scotty, a Sirius XM Liquid Metal, Shorts Guy, and crew, also known as Beer Baron. Streaming live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitter Live, and Twitch on the Let's Go Devils Network, coming to you live from the Primetime Radio Studios all over the world. Folks, tonight's title is Who Will the Devils Play in the First Round? But we will talk about last night's game against the Boston Bruins. We will talk about Luke Hughes. We will talk about this upcoming week, 2 games to go. We'll also talk about what we're going to be doing at our Let's Shindig viewing party on April 13th at Stagehouse Tavern in beautiful Mountainside, New Jersey, both Game Day Live and Devils After Dark. And also big shout out to Max, because Max helped us out a little bit by giving us a live feed before the game, which now is starting to be pretty cool what we're doing. So I'll let you guys take it over, guys, because I got to save my voice for this week.
Yeah, that's for sure. First of all, I want to say not only happy Devil's Sunday, boys, but happy Easter, happy Passover, happy Ramadan to everyone that celebrates everything. It's a convergence of all three holidays right now. So happy to everybody.
Happy holidays works out, right?
Yeah, seriously. It does work out.
One of those few times where I guess it good covers everything. Happy holidays.
Yeah, pretty much.
Especially when this podcast is doing well in the country of Egypt right now. I look at
What's up, everybody in Egypt?
Yep.
We love you.
And hockey hotbed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Was there a pun in there?
No.
Oh, my God. I thought that's where Happy Gilmore's mom moved, because there wasn't a hockey rink for like miles around. Actually, that's actually where she did move. If you watch the movie, my mom moved to Egypt. Anyways, how about them Bruins? They could suck it, huh? I hate those bastards up there. I actually never hated the Boston Bruins until this year, until it was like a relevancy for me to actually hate them. And watching that game last night, boys, I'll tell you one thing. It got me excited for the playoffs, because it definitely had a kind of air of playoff hockey there. But it also showed me that I thoroughly hate the fact that there's at least like 4 Devils that are former Devils on that team, between Greer, Zacha, Hall. I'm probably missing somebody else, but those are the 3 that really stuck out. But watching Zacha score 2 goals last night, it was kind of like, where the hell was that been, you bastard? What are you doing? Although Mackenzie Blackwood definitely gave him that second one as like a maybe owed him a favor or something like that. But
that was his first goal in 12 games, so it's still the same old Pavel Zacha.
Still the same old Pavel Zacha, come on.
And he's going to be extra jacked to want to score against the Devils. I mean, that's kind of a given. He's gonna want to show what he can do, what he's been doing in Boston. So I'm not really shocked that he would score against us, because that's you want to show up your former team whenever you get a chance to play them.
Well, it was Damon Severson completely left him alone in front of the net on the power play. So I mean, when you're not covered and you're wide open for a deflection, that kind of negates it over there. But I don't really care about the Bruins. There's just one player on there that I want to see suspended.
Egypt, Texas.
Yeah.
And that's about it. Everyone else is whatever. But there's just one player on there that should be definitely taken out. And I think there will be some. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, we'll see. He tends to somehow escape a lot of punishment sometimes.
For some reason, yeah.
For some reason, he's a personality in the league, and I think the league wants him to be the heel of the league, and they kind of let him slide sometimes because of that.
He totally is a player that you hate to play against, and a player that you would love to have on your own team. I mean, I would take Marchand in a heartbeat on the Devils if he were an option. I know Scotty's shaking. You're shaking your head. No, dude, no way.
He's a dirty player. No, I would not want him on the team. He is a dirty,
Clarkson was
dirty
crystal
player.
clear, clean, right? There's a couple guys that have come through.
He wasn't dirty like that.
He's not as bad.
He wasn't. Yeah, he wasn't.
He wasn't headhunting. I agree. But I mean, if Marchand was available, you wouldn't take
David Clarkson. David Clarkson never licked anyone.
Yeah,
that's true too. That was a weird thing. Maybe I rescind the fact that
cheap shot
going
player.
out licking people.
Yeah.
No, I would not want him on the team at all. No.
All right.
To each his own, man.
At some point, he turns into a detriment for your team.
Yeah. Yeah, if your team's not winning, I suppose. I mean, they're winning, so they'll put up with that crap. But if they start losing, that stuff gets real old real quick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, big time.
I guess, yeah. You know what? Not to double back on it, but yeah, maybe I wouldn't take him on my team for that reason because I wouldn't want to have to deal with the headache or have to go online and defend every little stupid thing that he does. Oh, come on, man.
Yeah.
I saw a Bruin fan saying, like, oh, McLeod, like, put his head into his shoulder or, like, tried to blame it on McLeod some way. And I'm like, are you a moron?
Blaming the victim?
Moron?
Blaming the victim? Just like Marcus Johansson. Like right here.
Peter, by the way.
This one. Oh yeah, there's a good old guy.
Peter, I would never want Sean Avery ever in a million years.
No,
ever.
No.
Never,
Sean Avery's just crazy. He's just straight up crazy.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. Look at that rat on the screen.
Thinking about who he can lick next.
I mean, this has got to stop. I mean, it's just a habitual offender.
Who the hell was in goal for the Devils in this game?
55.
Oh,
Appleby.
Applebee's.
Yeah, man.
Not gonna be my goaltender anymore.
Yeah, well, everyone was the Devils goaltender last season except Shorts guy, which was the biggest crime of the century.
No, that was.
And I'm not going to stop complaining about it.
Yeah, well, Marchand, Pasta got his licks right there at the end, so get ready for it, guys. If that's the way 63 wants to play, then be on the lookout. You're going to get leveled at the end of the game as well. A clean hit on the boards.
Yeah, and that's why I love the fact that the Devils have Timo Meier now, because Timo is a big scoring winger, and he will put you on your back. And if you watch that game closely last night, too, you could see that physical play that the Devils lack in a lot of areas. There's some guys that were stepping back up. Miles Wood, he didn't score last night, but he was all over the place. He was flying last night. So I feel like, a lot of people that are nervous for the playoffs to start that are saying that the Devils can't handle themselves in a physical matchup. I don't know. Kevin Ball, the other game, grabbed two dudes, one by the neck and one by the face, and was just dragging them around the ice. So,
yeah. Kevin Ball has definitely been able to establish a lot more of a physical presence in the recent 2 to 3 weeks or so. And now that he's gotten this consistent gameplay, I mean, he's up there playing with Dougie Hamilton right now. He has been a solid force back there. He's really. It seems like the game has slowed down for him. He's using his size to his advantage, his reach to his advantage, and he is picking good points in the game to put the beef, as Sam Wu likes to say, out there on the other team. So I'm definitely liking what I saw. He definitely did some crease clearing last night as well. So I like that.
Yeah, but he also has a couple of moments where you could still see he's still green. There was a play where him and Graves basically both went puck chasing and went both into the corner.
That was Ryan Graves going completely out of. It was Ryan Graves going completely to the opposite side of the ice, out of position, which he has done. Don't know why, but he's done it a few times. But that one wasn't on Kevin Ball there. That one was on the old gravy train, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, Ball was there, and he was on his man on that side of the ice. Why Graves left, I don't know. If he thought Boquist was a little bit closer than he was, but they left Hathaway wide open there in the front of the net. But that's classic Devils this year, leaving people right in front of wide open in front of the net. much like Severson did to Zaka on the first goal. I mean, he was just untouched there for that deflection. So,
that's the type of
but
stuff
right
that,
after that, they cleared that crease. I will say Graves got back over, and then Ball got over, and they cleared that crease away from Mackenzie Blackwood, who had a solid game after that first onslaught of like 6 minutes. Man, did he play a really good game. And I think everybody was like, what the hell? Mackenzie Blackwood is starting? What? Lindy, what? Yeah. But, he had a really good game after that. I mean, you can't really blame him on the first one. The second one was all his fault. But, after that, what was it, 22 shots in the first period last night?
22 shots in the first period.
He played really well.
When he gets into a groove, he really gets into his he really kind of gets into it, and he does very well. It's just he's got to get into that groove. But once he's there, he's one of the he's definitely a top goalie. So I'm assuming that he'll probably be our backup going into the playoffs with Vitek as our starter. Since I can't remember the last time we saw Schmid. At least off the top of my head, I can't remember the last time we saw Schmid.
Oh, he's in the AHL.
So
he got sent back down a while ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, it looks like that's he'll be Vitek's backup for the playoffs, and my hope is that we can ride Vitek and he can play as well as he's played as of recent, and we can do very well. But it's those defensive lapses, those defensive mistakes that we tend to make that can really kill you in a playoff game that makes me nervous occasionally. More so for if we get to overtime. If anyone makes those defensive blunders in overtime, it's like, holy crap, that's awful. So what I hope is that they get those defensive snafus figured out in the next week, so that we can have everything all set and ready to go once playoff time starts, which I'm just like scouring the internet to try to find a schedule. But
yeah, all they said is April 17th. It's going to start April 17th. That's it. So they're not releasing the schedule, which is maddening because I'm like, dude, please.
Because I'm supposed to go to a game and I need to figure out if first of all, I need to figure out what game I'm going to because I have a ticket that I've got. I don't know if it's for game 1 or game 2. If it's for game 1 and we play Tuesday, holy crap, I've got to find a backup. I've got to find an e-bug for me for my inline team so that I can go to the game.
It's kind of inconsiderate in some respects. I know they don't know the schedule, but give us a time frame. You could,
but you could. I mean, well, yeah, I guess with so what Bruins are multi-use. Most of these teams are multi-use, so I guess that's part of the problem. But they have to at least have 2 sets of schedules ready to go.
Oh man,
they do, but it's all TBD stuff. You don't know. I don't know. They just say the 17th, but.
The only thing you can really do.
I just want it. I just want that determined part. I just want that determined part right now because I'm becoming impatient. I just want to know when and where I have to go down to New York.
If the Devils, and I have a close source that says this, if the Devils play home game 1 and 2 at home, it would be 17th and 19th.
Yeah.
So that's what I heard, but. I forgot. It's now ESPN ruling because I'm so used to years. NBC would start on a Wednesday, Thursday scenario. So, but that's what I heard. But anything can happen in that time frame. The other thing too. I mean, on a personal level, I have a wedding that I was invited to on October 7th. The RSVP, and it's like I can't tell you till like. When the NHL schedule comes out, with the home opener, it's
yeah.
I believe it's a 7:00 start time there. I saw it the other day. They just don't have any.
Yeah, I saw the TV schedule. Yeah. It was all TBDs, but it's like 7, 9:30, 9:30 or something like that with the 2 Western games. It's in those blocks, so it's just a matter of filling out the teams and stuff like that.
Yeah, or the Devils going to play on that Tuesday, right? Is Tuesday the 17th? Yeah, or they're going to start on Wednesday.
Tuesday's the 18th. Monday's the 17th.
Monday's the 17th. Okay. Yeah, are they going to start on Monday or are they going to start on Tuesday? That's what we really need to know.
Also, personally,
obviously they'll get into that every other day.
Also,
I wouldn't mind that Monday or the Tuesday start, but that's just me.
Another tip is if you can, if it's available, just look at the Prudential Center schedule, and you can kind of guess what games could potentially go there. So
I think some tickets that got put out said starting on the 17th. So
yeah.
Mm-hmm. And
So
a lot of
we
people are
shall
saying on the old YouTube Live here, which, by the way, thank you for everybody on YouTube Live, Facebook Live, all the other platforms, Twitter Live, Twitch, yada yada yada, all those wonderful places. MySpace Live with Tom.
Seriously,
you're hanging out with Tom. But
you know what? The one thing. Hold on.
Starts too.
8 o'clock. Well, that's not surprising. It's playoff time because they got to play to both. They've got to play to the entire nation at this point because everyone wants to watch it, and they got to, not only us, but they have to play to to all our northern neighbors up there in Canada. As far as what?
Oh, hold on. Sorry.
What?
Ray Leo says that nobody reads the Facebook comments anymore, but I was also going to, give a shout out to TJ the DJ, who is watching. He is the Devils DJ at the arena. Sits next to Pete the organist. So
Yeah.
I was going to get to those comments, but I had to interrupt. Sorry.
So according to the to the Prudential Center schedule, if I can talk, that would be nice. There's an event on April 15th, and there's not an event again until April 21st. So there's no clarity on the Prudential Center website either. The mystery continues.
The mystery continues. I mean, whatever, man. It sucks, but I guess they'll release it sooner or later. I think it's also the Eastern Conference.
At the end of the week.
The Eastern, the Eastern Conference. There's the wild card spots like insane right now. Last time I checked, it's
no one wants to keep it. Neither of them.
No, nobody.
The Sabres play tomorrow.
Yeah,
that's right. They play tomorrow. They play the Rangers.
Panthers and Islanders now. Panthers and Islanders right now. Nobody wants to keep that. It's like everyone's like, no, you can take it. No, you can take it. No. I insist. You take it. It's like a courtesy contest of who wants to give the playoffs away.
Yeah, so it's 91 points tied for that playoff spot between Florida and New York, and then Pittsburgh with 90, sitting kind of like jumps into playoffs and jumps out, like you said. And then there's an outside snowball's chance in hell that Buffalo has a shot. They have 4 games left.
They got to win.
And they're at
85.
They're at 85 points. They got to win out. So they got to win their last 4 games, and they got to hope that one of those other 3 teams stumble, which wouldn't be a shock if any of those teams stumble. So it's kind of funny that Florida apparently Keith Kachuk went on some radio station and called the team soft. He was like, they're Charmin soft or a bunch of crybabies, and called out the entire team, and it like sparked a fire under him. So that's why like the Florida Panthers have apparently like woken up and started playing well. Which, if we're going to talk about who will the Devils play in the first round, in my opinion, I don't want to play the Islanders or the Panthers. I don't care. Like, listen, we'll play anybody. It's one of those things like whoever they're playing, I have confidence and I have faith in the team that they'll do well. But realistically, I don't want them to play the Islanders because they have a hard time with the Islanders. And Sorokin can definitely steal them a series if he wanted to. Shesterkin, whatever. I feel like the Devils have an answer for Shesterkin more than they do for Sorokin. So not that I'm like, bring on the Rangers. I don't want to be one of those people either, because I hate that stuff too, because you don't want to wish on something and then have it blow up in your face. I just want to see them get into the playoffs and play a solid first round.
I say bring on the Rangers for one simple reason, for me personally.
Okay.
I got a bag full of Rangers suck shirts I want to sell.
There you go.
Which will be available at American Whiskey, whether we play the Rangers or not. I will have shirts that say Rangers suck. It'll help us. It might help us get to the Jet. We have to sell quite a few shirts, though, if we're going to do that. What do we figure a Jet was like 1.5 million at 20 a piece? It would be a couple shirts I got to print extra.
Yeah, something like that.
Just a couple.
Just a few.
Just a couple.
Yeah.
Just a few. It'll take me at least one evening, maybe 2.
I could really care less who they play in the first round because I think they're going to be pumped and ready to go. Whether it's Florida, they already have kind of a thing going with them this season anyway. Whether it's the Rangers, they'll definitely be up for that one, or whether it's the Islanders, they'll get up for that too. Like I think it'll be fine whoever they play. It's going to be a tough series no matter what. That goes without saying. But I'm fine with whoever they. I don't really care. I want the Devils in first just so they can finish in first in the Metro. I would love that to get that home ice advantage. Except for only Boston having that. I know when it comes to hey, if the Devils do make a run, just hypothetically thinking, it's only Boston that would be in front of them for home ice advantage. Which you would think it's probably going to have to go through Boston. At some point or another, but still, if it does happen, I just want the Devils to have the best home ice advantage they can because don't forget the Rangers. If the Devils lose these two and the Rangers win these two, they'll flip point wise. The Devils have them on wins because the Devils have 3 wins on them right now. They got 50 and the Rangers have 47. So, but the Devils they still need to win. So this will be tomorrow's going to be a huge game for Buffalo. Because they're going to play the Rangers.
Huge.
And if Buffalo wins, you bet they're going to come out swinging against the Devils Tuesday night. They're playing back-to-back like that. And, we'll see.
And they're a good
someone
team,
brought it up.
They're not terrible, that's for sure. The Sabres remind me the Sabres very much remind me of us about last season.
They got
really good team that
now.
They've got goaltending.
Yeah.
And apparently they got the goaltending in Devin Levi. But they just remind me of a team. They remind me of us with a team full of just really good young talent that just has not yet found a way to put it together. And when they do, I think the Sabres are going to become a very strong team in the Eastern Conference. They just got to put it together like we eventually did.
I got to look
Remember,
too,
the last time we played them, they beat us 5-4 too. They went up 5-2 in the second period, and the Devils came back to make it close.
That's it.
The
Panthers played the Maple
controlled
Leafs
that game, dude.
Tomorrow. So that's going to be a tight game right there. And, the Leafs, they're they're one of the best teams in the league. So,
they're the Leafs.
So the Panthers, they are the Leafs, but, they're the regular seasons. They do good in the regular season, but they don't do so good in the playoffs.
We're
the regular seasoners. That's who they are.
We keep messing with Schwim on Hockey Untapped, singing that, telling him that. And he's in pretty much full belief that this is going to be the season that Toronto finally wins because it'll knock out his Tampa Bay Lightning. And then if that's the case, one of us is going to have to, on Hockey Untapped, is going to have to open up our house to him because his wife will probably kick him out for his reaction to that. So it should be interesting.
Yeah, they got the Florida's got the Leafs and then they got the Hurricanes.
That's tough.
That's a tough twofer right there. Pittsburgh's got the Blue Jackets, and I got to see who else they play. But the Islanders have the Capitals, who are already kind of, and the Canadians. Both teams that are probably kind of packed it in there a little bit. And Pittsburgh has the Blackhawks. Yee. So, man, Florida's got a really tough test here with Toronto and Carolina, because Carolina, the way they are now, Devils are only 1 point behind them, so they may be still out there, swinging on that last game there, trying to wrap up the Metro.
Mm-hmm.
And Pittsburgh, man, they got Chicago and Columbus. The Bedard specials,
You're welcome.
Over there.
Seriously,
Mr. Crosby, here's your schedule.
Columbus was like playing a high school team. What was that on when the Devils won 8-1? It was like in the third period. It was like every time the Devils went up the ice, it was like, I think they're gonna score now. So Columbus
that game also felt like a kind of a screw you to Gaudreau. I feel like the Devils beat the Columbus Blue Jackets in the last 2 meetings. I think 15-2 was the how bad they beat them. in 2 games. So I think that there's a little bit of
we all remember
motivation.
John Gillies, who came in goal there in the third period and promptly let up 4 goals. So,
yeah.
We all know that
hey,
pain.
welcome back. Welcome
we
back.
all know that
I see you're up to your old antics.
Yep.
But,
so.
Jeez.
But Columbus is not good. Chicago is not good either. So
no,
that's a pretty nice twofer right there for the Penguins, And the Islanders. Who did we say the Islanders had? They had
Washington, I can't remember and someone else.
Washington and Montreal. Another 2 teams that are,
Does anybody know why Hollow was not in the game yesterday? I forgot to take a look into it, but he was sick.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was if he's in the game, I think it's a different game, by the way. His game has really stepped up, and all the people that hated on Eric Holla and kind of like said he was a waste, he's really come on lately, and I think he got the perfect time of year. So him being out of the lineup, not to like circle back into that Bruins game again, but I was just thinking about this as we're talking about all these potential matchups, and I'm like going through the roster in my head, and I'm like, I wonder, and I'm seeing all these wonderful questions like, what do you think is going to happen to Luke Hughes? I know Ray Leo over on the Facebook group was saying that, is it worth burning a year off of Luke Hughes' entry-level contract to bring him in now? A lot of people are asking, like, where's he going to fit in? Like, is he going to get in? I'm curious if they're going to let him play the last 2 games of the season, give somebody like maybe Damon Severson a break. It depends on how do the Devils view home ice advantage in the first round? How do they view it? Do they think that the Rangers are going to catch him? Because if not, maybe they let him play in the last 2 games and then
Monday.
Can he
tomorrow will tell
to the game?
Yeah,
tomorrow will really tell. If the Rangers beat the Sabres, then I think it'll be a different story. But yeah, I could see him, given one of the veterans a rest, like Severson. Maybe Dougie, last game of the season, give him a rest as well. I can see them doing that, even though they're both right-handed and Luke shoots lefty. So we'll have to see what they do with that. But but I can see them kind of spelling some of those guys just to give them a rest here in the last couple games. But I think it depends on tomorrow. If the Rangers lose tomorrow, then it's still up in the air because then the Sabres are playing the Devils the next night.
Yeah,
but
Well,
if the Rangers lose tomorrow, then even if they tie, then it doesn't matter because Devils have them on victories.
More wins. Yeah, we have more wins. And then we just have to win one of our last 2 games, which our last game is against Washington, who's probably packing it in if we, for some reason, stumble against. But at that point, all we would need is 1 point out of the next 2 games. We just have to make it to overtime in one of the next 2 games, and we're fine. I mean, not that we want to back in like that. You want to win in your final 2 games, but if the Rangers can lose tomorrow and we can win on Tuesday, then it could be a full rest. I don't want to say a full rest, but we could see a lot of resting players on Thursday against Washington.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be shocked if you see even the last game of the season, if they have home ice locked up for the first round, if you see, well, depending if he breaks the record, you see somebody like Jack take a rest. I know some people will be like, well, why would he take a rest? So, like, maybe they want him to just take a game. Who knows? I'm just like speculating of some of the guys that they might have sit down.
I think they'll
maybe
let
give
him.
Nico.
I think they'll let him go. He's too young.
He's a young kid. Yeah, he's a young kid.
I think they'll save it for the veterans.
Yep.
The guys that maybe are dinged up a little bit. Jack, if he's going to go out there, let him stay in his groove and let him do his thing.
He's probably better off continuing, like you said, in that groove and continue playing. Just let him go out and play, because I'm sure the kid just wants to play hockey. That's about it. 2, 3, 4 years down the line, okay, maybe he sits that final game. But right now, at his age, he just wants to go out and play hockey.
Especially if Luke is going to be in there too. He's going to be. He's going to be.
That's
jacked
true.
Up to be playing with his bro. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Hey, we're gonna put in Luke. Sorry, Jack, you're scratched tonight.
We're putting him in for you. For you.
Head to the press box, kid. You're
Go watch
your little go get your little beanie. Go get your little beanie and put it on your head and go up there.
Go get some
sad sack.
Gato and chill,
get,
brah.
Go get some Gato and chicken fingers and watch your brother play.
Yeah. Oh no, BioSteel or BioFlex, whatever that is, because he got in trouble for that. He's like, oh yeah, he can't. He called out the wrong
Hughes
sponsor.
at a time.
One Hughes at a time. Yeah, dude, I don't know.
One of the old timers. One of the old timers, Ted. Probably Damon one night, probably Dougie another, or maybe Damon both nights.
And
anyone
then
who might
put him on
be
the bottom
up.
six. Put him on the bottom six and let him figure himself out and get his beak wet. Let him do the lap before everybody else. You know, that little victory lap during warm-ups. And
you put him down there on the bottom pairing.
Get him some time
they might
when
have
you
to
can.
do some reconfiguring there because, like I said, I don't know if they're going to play him on the right side because he's a left shot. I know it's the same as Kevin Ball. I was daydreaming of a Kevin Ball, Luke Hughes, a la like a Dano Niedermeyer connection. I was daydreaming of that, but then I realized they both play the left side.
Defenseman. Yeah. Stay-at-home defenseman with the guy that can be like a magician. Max, by the way, what's up, Max? We did see your live feed. That was pretty awesome, dude.
Yeah, but Niedermeyer might have a little bit more of the defensive skills there than Luke. He is more of the offensive side over there. But Needs was just all around, all over, phenomenal.
Niedermeyer, by the way, if Niedermeyer played today, imagine what he would do. Like, I feel like, he was doing a lot of the Cal McCarr type of stuff before Cal McCarr was even a thought in his father's eye.
Yeah.
I cleaned that up.
I saw something.
Good job.
I saw something. Kind of going along with that thought. I saw something today as I was cruising around online. Imagine taking today's players and putting them in gear from the 1970s and just watching them play.
Oh boy,
that actually be kind of interesting.
That would be
or
very
give them
I would
the old wooden stick and just be like, go.
But yeah, that's like stuff like that. Like I'd love to see goalies in like 1970s gear, like going out there in full leather pads that are strapped
with that
to your
mask.
legs. Like, with the combo.
Oh man,
I would hope. No, forget those face masks. Just give them the combos, the Cooper combos.
Round Cooper combos.
Speaking of that, I've got this card on my desk here. One.
Hey, nice.
Chris Terreri in a red Cooper combo. That's right there on my desk.
I got a funny story about Terry. I'll tell you later. I think actually Sam might have brought it up to us at one point. But anyways, if you know what story I'm talking about. Yeah, dude, I don't know if and some people are asking, do you think Luke gets into the playoff scenario? It's so hard to say yes or no to that, that scenario, considering that if he does play the last two games, that he's going to be getting very, very minimal NHL experience, and then you'd be like, hey, all right, buddy, well, you did just play in like the highest level of college hockey and one of the best programs in college hockey, and you made it to the Frozen Four. It's not the same as the NHL playoffs. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And I don't know, unless you're desperate, do you put them into the playoffs?
If there's injuries, maybe, but you may even, now that Ahoytuk is in San Jose and he's actually out for the season anyway, who else? I'm trying to think of who else did they call up at any point in the season? Defensively?
I don't think
you got to have someone with a little more experience. I don't know. I think it's good for Luke to get in these games over here, but he is only just a 19-year-old kid, and he's coming out of college hockey. Like you just said, the difference in play from college hockey to NHL is very, very drastic.
Big time.
In college, you have a couple guys that maybe will make the NHL. And the NHL, they're all NHLers. There's no little easy spots to get through.
Even the fourth liners are better than some of the guys you play against or played with. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the whole thing about coming out of college and developing into those pro leagues. Sometimes it just doesn't work, whether it's baseball, football, basketball, whatever. It's because you can get away with that stuff because the talent isn't, the same across the board. You have people who are just not that good who are playing college sports because they're college athletes. They're not professional athletes.
And Bill,
when you hit
Bill
the
just
national.
brought up,
What about Riley
there's no
Walsh?
leeway.
Wasn't he on it? Riley Walsh is.
I don't think Riley ever. I don't think he ever came up. Did he ever come up?
I don't think he came up
this season.
I thought he did. Because I'm
looking
looking
at
at
just
Utica's.
balling a Hoytuk.
That's it.
Looking
And
at
then
Utica's roster, and it's aside from Walsh, the only
Tyler
other guy that I
Witherspoon?
recognize. He's there. Witherspoon, whatever it is.
Bill said the McCarthy, the only defenseman to jump into the playoffs right out of college. Now,
you never know. It could happen.
you never know. Yeah,
It could.
I mean,
You just never know.
maybe he steps in and he plays like he's like this crazy difference maker in the last two games, and they're like, oh, sorry, whoever spot you're taking.
Sorry, Damon.
Sorry, Damon, you're out of here anyways. You're used to going home at this time of year anyways, buddy. So see you later.
I mean, not for nothing.
Sam Wu would be happy.
Yeah.
Not for nothing. If let's say Luke gets into a couple games, come playoff time, Quinn is in the stands. Maybe Quinn throws on Luke's jersey. It's still a Hughes, NHL defenseman.
Little switcheroo happened on there. Okay.
A little switcheroo, yeah. Who is this
All
Hughes
right.
that's out there? I think that's Luke. It looks like Quinn. No, it's Luke. I swear it's Luke. That's just his playoff beard.
That's his playoff beard.
Why does he look constantly sad? Don't worry about it. He's smiling now.
Quinn, remember. Quinn, remember, whenever anyone talks to you, only respond to Luke. Your name is Luke for today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, so I found this kind of cool, like the fact that he's not going to be L. Hughes on the back of his jersey, that it's just going to be Hughes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think that's actually kind of neat that neither of them are going to do like the first initial and then the last name. I mean, they have completely different numbers. Everybody should be smart enough to figure that out. Like, you see 43 and 86, you're like, wait a second, which one's Jack? I don't get it. Then you're a moron. So, I mean,
there's a height difference between those two.
There's
as well.
Height difference.
Yes, there is.
Position difference. There's lots of differences to be had out there. One's better at interviews already, than his brother. So, that. But I think it's cool. Like, I think it's cool. He's going to go in. He doesn't need to have like that separation of like who's who. And I kind of hope they get him in the last two games. Like, it's. Kind of sucks that there is a little bit on the line for that home ice advantage, but at the same time, it's not like we're battling for a playoff spot. So if they wanted to do it, now would be the time to do it. So,
yeah, I think the real question is,
Alan, it's not. Yeah, they're not the Sedin twins. So yeah, I think we'll be able to get it.
Which, by the way, supposedly some of the Sedin twins would switch jerseys in some games and actually go out
and that up. Yeah.
And play, as which I think that's
funny.
Pretty amazing.
I think the real question
is,
Luke
if play Quinn defense, or is he another Hamilton? I think Steven, he's more in the Dougie category, or from what I've seen so far.
It'll be interesting to see what he can bring if he gets on the ice. Will be very interesting to see what he can bring. And show what he's got for this Devils team. And you never know. He may do well enough to get a playoff game. Something might happen in the playoffs and it just works out. He plays. Who the hell knows? But
someone could get dinged up, miss a game or two. Yeah. Like it happens. It's playoff hockey. They're going to be going at it. But, injuries do occur. We hope they don't, but injuries do occur.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess
LBIs,
that's also
UBIs.
UBs.
Or he could be like Sam Wu and have the UTI, the upper throat injury. Yeah.
upper throat. What is this? Chinham get hurt?
Yeah, Sam had to do 3 football calls the other night when John Marino had the hat trick of assists in that Columbus game. So he came down with a UTI after that, and he's day to day. He's day to day on the show. Oh, there he is.
Yeah, not like Clint Malarchuk type injury.
Got that.
Throat.
Oh, that I still can't watch that video.
Yeah, it's
I still
wild.
can't watch that video.
That is one of the craziest things to see and just be like, no way that guy didn't. If you show that to somebody that doesn't know the story, and for those of you that don't know the story, if you feel brave enough to go Google it and watch the video, just be warned that it is extremely graphic. If you show somebody that video that has no idea what it is and be like, did this guy A, survive, or B, die on the bench? What would your answer be? I bet you most people would be like, oh, he definitely died.
Yep.
He's dead right now. He's probably buried under the bench.
That's one of those scary things as a goalie.
Well, wasn't that one of the reasons that mandated those big floppy neck guards for a while? Which you don't really see those that much anymore.
No, a lot of goalies don't like them. I played with that one once, maybe twice, and I got hit in the neck when I didn't have one on. And I was like, nope, this is why I wear the dangler. I refuse to play without the dangler because it's just that little bit of extra protection. And I guess if you're used to playing without it, you kind of like bury your chin a little bit. But a lot of goalies don't do it. Vitek wears it. He's one of the goalies that still wears it. And there's a couple other
Marty
goalies
used to wear it all the time.
wear them.
Yeah, Marty used to.
Marty wore it. Marty was also from that that generation that wore them a lot more. There's a lot of goalies that I play with that don't wear them. I would never play without it. It's just.
Sam, for those of you that are driving in your car listening to the podcast right now, Sam is holding up a clear shield that hangs from the bottom of a goaltender's mask. Dangler, as the shorts guy is pointing out. Okay, Sam, we get
Dangler. That should be part of your new show, Sam. Do you guys know the name of Sam's new show?
No, what is it?
Wake Up with Morning Woo.
Very well done.
Well done.
You should get LeGrand Coffee to sponsor that. That'd be a cool sponsor to wake up.
Well, the Dangler should definitely show up on the Wake Up with Morning Woo.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Man. Sam would make a good goalie, somebody said.
Size-wise?
I take up a lot of the net. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, what's that supposed to mean?
What is that supposed to mean? Jeez.
Fat?
It's a fat joke, right in the wheelhouse. For you.
Yeah,
no,
that's all we need.
Powerful legs, Sam. It's your powerful legs. They can tell from your view.
Powerful legs.
Powerful legs to go from side to side. From post to post. You can get across real quick.
See that? They can see that from your shoulders.
Yeah,
you can look at your shoulders and tell. Look at the Quadzilla over there. Oh, Saquon Barkley Jr. Sam Quadzilla Woo coming at you in the morning. Have a cup of coffee with Sam Woo. Wake up without a care. The morning woo is always there. I like that. Best part of waking up.
We've been having fun with that for a little while now. Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. Hey, just a sidebar, real quick. How was WrestleMania, buddy?
Oh, it was. It was a big spectacle. I've never been to a Mania before. So yeah, it was a pretty big spectacle. I don't follow it as closely, really. I kind of but the last 3 matches were really good. The other ones were kind of WrestleMania matches with celebrities and stuff like that, where it's just kind of like. But overall, the show was definitely. I only went the first night, so but it was packed. Beers are way overpriced. But as always, it's like $25 for 3 tacos at SoFi. But yeah, my buddy, he's got the hook up there. So we were like, 10 rows from the ring. We were like right in the middle in the like the WWE seats. So we had like George Kittle and Wale and Bill Simmons and Stephen A. Smith and all these, like, this is where they were like walking all the people like that were part of the matches and the celebrities and everything like that. So we were like right in the middle there. So we got to do some celeb launching and it was fun. Getting an Uber out of there sucked.
Yeah, Stephen A. Smith is apparently like 6'4". Is that true? Is he like a tall dude?
I didn't measure him when I saw him. Next time I will make sure that I bring my measuring tape and be like, Stephen A., hang on 1 second here. I just want to see.
I got one for you right here.
I legitimately almost spit water everywhere as I'm taking mid. I didn't measure him. Sorry, I didn't.
My friend said you were 6'4", 6'2.5".
And my other friend gave me this tiny little tape measure. Hold on 1 second. Let me take that little rubber band off of it.
60. No, that's a twist tie. It's 60 inches at a clip. So you got to string it up, hold it, and then string it up.
Let's start at your head. Start at your head and go down. I'll get to your midriff, and you just tell me if it tickles. Very cool, man. Very cool. So, anyways, back into the hockey realm. I guess to answer the question, who will the Devils play in the first round? We have a lot to unfold in the last couple games. But go ahead, yes.
Hey, real quick, just with the wrestling stuff, in another federation, Impact Wrestling, Darren McCarty actually made his wrestling debut, taking on old Bully Ray.
Wow.
Yeah, with Tommy Dreamer and stuff like that. And
it's like an old ECW match, man.
Yeah, some of those dudes are still out there in like Impact, and they had a pay-per-view, and Darren came out of the crowd. It was up in Canada, and they put him through a table, and then he came back, and and they had him do his match and an actual match, and they sold it and had him win the match and everything like that. So pretty cool for him to be getting involved. I thought that was pretty wild.
Yeah, a little hockey flair in there.
That's right.
So, taking a look at the schedule for the last 2 games and kind of anticipating what's going to happen with this team, you brought up a good point before, Scotty, about talking about the Capitals and how they're probably going to be packing it in and then not really putting up much of an effort. Not to say that they'll just lay down and let the Devils walk all over them. But I want to bring up a really kind of fun coincidence, and I brought this up to Sam. The last time that we did an end of the year podcast, a live podcast at a live event, which was the time Tavern of the Rocks, which is my father-in-law's old bar, which is still there, but he doesn't own it anymore. We did a live podcast. The Devils played the Capitals, and it was the last time that they went to the playoffs. So it was kind of like a funny little coincidence that we're going to be doing another live podcast at the end of the season against the Capitals for a trip going into the playoffs. It's a little bit of a different feeling this time going into the playoffs as it was last time. And that's for darn sure, because this team, last time it felt like they were like, hey, all right, cool, we're here. And this time it's like, hey, kick down the door. We're here, MFer. Right, Marshall.
They're busting into the playoffs like the Kool-Aid guy through the wall.
The refs sucked last night because the hockey world wants the Devils Rangers. That's what Max said. He said that the refs were terrible last night because they wanted the Devils Rangers playoffs. And he said that Gary Bettman told them personally they were not good. And especially that the crap that happens after the play when you play the Bruins is like the fact that Nico Hischier took a high stick in the crease, no call, and then gets repeatedly punched right in the face, and there's no call. There's no roughing penalty.
I'm sure that came from Toronto.
Well,
no call on that.
They're like, no. Mr. Bettman says no call. That means there's going to be no call.
Mr. Bettman, he says not to make the call.
That's what people in Toronto sound like.
Probably more Montreal, but
wrong city.
Whatever.
Oh, look at it.
Where are you from? I'm from Toronto.
Toronto.
It's very nice.
It's very nice.
Gary
It is
Bettman
a
and
very
I
diverse
are
city.
very good friends. Oh.
It is a very diverse city, so you never know.
There you go. See? It's my bad French accent over there.
Yeah, I'd say that was a bad French accent, that's for sure.
Oh, man. Oh, do that the goal against the Devils?
Yeah, no. We do not take out this whistle for just you in the red.
Yeah.
It's not for you.
No high sticking, no roughing, no shot to the head, no
The upward
icing
inflection.
at the end of the game. Yeah.
It's very, very good. And then it just gets worn out and just sounds like you're stressing yourself out. No stress. Okay, forget it.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, I don't know about you boys, but it's exciting. I feel kind of relaxed going into the playoffs, where like as soon as we get towards like that last game, once the schedule is released, and I know if there are hopefully any games that I can actually make it to in the first round.
Viola. I'm just gonna start reading all this stuff that people are putting in the YouTube chat. Soccer blue. That's the only thing I really know.
You dropped your phony dog poop. What phony dog poop?
What?
You dropped your phony dog poop? I don't know what that's.
Yeah, phony dog poop.
Poop? That's good. Poop. That's definitely French Canadian the way you said that. Poop. Oh,
give me the mayonnaise for my French fries.
Oh no, they're called poutine.
Poutine.
I need my poutine.
It's basically disco fries, but worse.
Yeah.
Disco fries, if somebody accidentally got really drunk and added more ingredients, you're like, yo, Frank, no, stop.
Don't melt the cheese all the way.
I like the crust on the cheese, please. Thank you very much.
Inspector Clouseau from the Pink Panther.
Poutine is amazing. This is Michael.
Off the rails.
Poutine is great. It's good stuff.
Poutine is good, but poutine is good. I will say that poutine is good, but nothing beats like a 2 a.m. plate of disco fries at a Jersey diner. Nothing beats that.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, poutine's good, but not better than disco fries.
Hey, you know what? Bill just said. I don't know what he was referring to, but oh, okay, I see what he's saying. Somebody else said, "Can we re-sign Bratt and Meyer without cap issues?" And it says, "Depends on what Timo and Bratt want." I would love if at the end of the season, last game happens, Devils lock up whatever home ice advantage in the first round. We know who we're going to put, who we're going to play, and then right before that first game of the playoffs, boom, you get that update on Twitter. It says signed long-term extension, and both of their names come up. I think that'd be a super end to the year. Obviously,
I think both of them will be signed because Demon Siversen will be out the door by this season's end, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Blackwood maybe not come back. Bernier, well, he's on the LTIR now anyway, but there's some other names. Isn't Holla only on a 1-year deal? Miles Wood is expiring.
Graves needs to be
Graves
resigned
as well. Yeah, they need to decide if they're going to keep Graves or if they're going to move on. With Siegenthaler locked up, with Marino locked up, Dougie, and now you have the emergence of Kevin Ball. Luke Hughes will probably be there. It won't be long before Simone Nemec is around as well. So you got to decide what you're going to do over there. And don't forget, you also have Brendan Smith for 2 years. Mr. Penalty, I know, but he is signed for 2 years. So Damon is he's going to command like around $6 million, which I think is overpaying for him, unfortunately. I think it's been a good run, but much like the Kyle Palmieri situation from a few years back where everyone was like, how can you let Palmieri go? And it's like, he is not worth that amount of money.
How much do you want to bet Severson ends up being an Islander too?
He might. He might.
I
don't know. I don't know if they'll
that-
have the room. I don't know if they'll have
blue
the
boy.
room.
Yeah, they're all screwed up over there.
They got some. I could see Damon going up to Canada, like Western Canada and stuff like that, because I think isn't he from like out there near
Winnipeg.
Vancouver or something like that? Winnipeg or something.
I think so.
No,
something
not
like
Winnipeg. That was Travis Zajac was from Winnipeg. All the years that everybody
Somewhere
wanted
up
to
there.
trade Zajac. Yeah, I think he is from the Vancouver-ish area. Maybe wrong. Who knows?
I think so.
Somebody's gonna type in and be like, "It's from Saskatoon."
Saskatoon.
Or
Sorry.
Moose Jaw.
But either way, like I think it'll
Moose
be
knuckle.
a definite.
What?
Whoever does sign him, he's going to command that money, and I just think it's an overpay.
Calgary.
for the
Calgary.
for the Devils. Calgary they can, but for the Devils, with Ball, Luke, Nemec, eventually Mercer, you're going to pay for Bratt, you're going to pay for Timo. You got a lot of guys there that are going to need some money. And I think Damon just at this point, being that he's playing on a third pairing, $6 million for a third pairing D-man is a lot. That's a lot, So I know we've talked about it on Devils After Dark. I know you've mentioned it, Beer Baron, before. Just you're playing with him like he's kind of like one of those pickups at the deadline that you're not going to resign the next year. That's basically what he's at right now, and that's the way it's going to roll. Miles Wood, we'll see what happens with him. If he comes back for maybe, it's hard to re-sign these guys for cheaper, but I don't know how you give Miles Wood a raise, after being hurt all last year. He's had an okay year this year, hasn't been consistent, but he's still at least got some numbers,
Sharon Govich, a lot of people are bringing his name up right now. He's another one that's probably, unfortunately, going to be gone. Miles Wood, a very good chance that unless he takes a huge discount, not a huge discount, but I don't think Miles would, because Michael says Wood will not be back, and I agree. I don't think he's going to be back either, which is unfortunate. I always liked Miles Wood, but we have Nolan Foote.
You have a Nolan Foote that's ready to go. You have a Bastion who you could sign for cheaper as well. I think McLeod, with his prowess there in the face-off circle, he's not going to be super expensive. I think you can hang on to him. But you're going to have to pay for Mercer. You're going to have to pay eventually. You're going to have to pay for Bratt and Timo first.
Yep.
And figure that out. And those will be your two main ones.
If they could structure those two contracts the correct way and not, because I know the speculation that Fitzgerald doesn't want anybody making more than Hughes.
Well, Dougie already does.
Yeah, I know. Which every time somebody brings that up, I'm like, I don't know if that's true or not. And if it's true, listen, he got Hughes on the greatest deal ever. And don't be surprised if in a couple of years he's going to have to restructure that bad boy too. But Timo, how much are you willing to pay him? Bratt, how much are you willing to pay them? So if you can get those numbers within a reasonable window, I don't think that the Devils will. They're not going to be one of those teams that's going to be like so hamstrung by like 2 or 3 contracts that they're going to be screwed like Chicago was at the end of the Patrick Kane Taves era. You know what I mean? So I think
Edmonton will be.
Edmonton's going to be screwed, but
they already are.
But Connor puts up 150 points. It's like, yeah, that's cool, but what is that really getting you? It's getting you nothing. It's getting you all these cool trades. He's got a bunch of Hart trophies, but you're not getting like the real hardware that you want.
Nope, he'll win that after he leaves.
Yeah, 1,000%. For like Vegas or like San Jose or some like off team.
Yeah, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Miles Wood gone, especially with a Nolan Foote kind of waiting in the wings. A very very similar
next Boston Bruin. Miles Wood, by the way, I have a strong feeling.
Could be.
I have a strong feeling he'll end up. He's from the Boston area. Grew up a Boston Bruins fan. He fits the mold of that team, so I wouldn't be shocked to see that happen.
He could, but they also, They got a lot of guys there as well with some big contracts too. Now that they re-signed Pasta, so and
Might not
that's
be able
part
to
of the
happen.
reason.
That contract is huge.
Yep,
that's a huge one. So they got they locked up Zaka too for a number of years as well, which is kind of coming back to us with kind of like Damon Severson. Is that something we want to get locked into long term like that? Did this team really miss Pavel Zaka this year? No,
by no means.
No. I'm glad he's having a good year up there with Pasta. I mean, how can you not blame Pasternak? Like, so good for him.
That's what happens. That's what happens. You have a change of scenery, and your game improves sometimes. It's just what happens.
And I think me and Sam talked about it on Devils After Dark. It's just I think he needed to be. He was like the veteran on this team. I think Zaka needed to have that veteran leadership pushing him in the right direction.
Yes.
Like, I think that suits him a lot better instead of being the leader in the locker room right now. Maybe in a few years he can take over that type of role, but I don't think it was suiting him very well in New Jersey. And there was a lot of pressure on him on the Devils too, being that high first-round pick there in that big year. He was very inconsistent. And like the other day, first goal in 12 games, that's like classic Pavel Zaka over there, so but he's put up some point numbers, so good for him. I'm glad he's having a good year. I don't wish him ill will or anything like that. Everything that kid fought back from that nasty injury when he was over there in Czech Republic, when he fell and he hit the back of his head and everything, like that's a lot to come back from. And he made it through a good portion of stuff. So it didn't work out exactly how he wanted here in NJ. But Haula is finally starting to turn it on, and looks like if he gets back in, maybe he can break that 40-point barrier, which I don't think anyone was even thinking there after the first, month or two of the season when he was just snake bitten left and right, couldn't buy a goal, So I think Haula has also brought some good leadership to this team, in the locker room and everything else.
Yeah, and by all accounts, he likes it here too. So who wouldn't?
Zaka should have been Meyer. Woo! Oh, in the draft. Yeah. No, yeah. No,
okay. Yeah.
But yeah, we will see. But I guess we're getting here we're already past time here, aren't we?
We are past time. A little bit. Not bad. Just a little bit. We've done worse.
We've done worse.
Yeah. That time we went into like midnight and we were going crazy. No, that never happened.
Well, I know
we win the cup, it will go. That would happen.
Oh my gosh! Anyway,
yeah.
Go ahead, Scotty. Sorry.
Well, I was just gonna say, from my final thought, I'm just excited to see these guys. If they do get to 51 games, 51 wins, that's astounding. If they get to 52 and break it, unreal. If they can break the all-time point record for the team, which I believe is 111. So if they can get to 112, amazing. But so far, just an incredible year all around. This team has battled through some adversity. Don't forget, this is a team that also won, like 13 or 14 in a row before we got screwed by the officials in that Toronto game. And then we had that one downer month, and it was all doom and gloom there for a little bit. But this team really, really has turned it around. And if we have to do Rodney Dangerfield jokes on Devils After Dark again for an entire episode until they get some respect, we will do it. But just excited, and this team is still maturing. They're way ahead of schedule. This defense, you're just going to start seeing the defense like we were seeing a couple of years ago, with Luke coming up, with Simone Nemec's coming up. Kevin Ball is already there. Don't know what's going to happen with a Riley Walsh or oh man, I'm going to say it wrong, Sam. Is it Vukojevic, right? Is that what it is? We'll see how he goes. Seamus Casey is still over at Michigan. So they have a bunch of these defensive prospects that haven't even really, touched the NHL truly just yet. So just get prepared, because it's going to get even better with this team. But just super proud of everything those guys accomplished, and two more games to go here in the regular season. Love to see 2 wins if they can.
Yeah, man. I got to echo all the sentiments that you just said, and like the great Paul Rudd said in that that chicken wing eating contest thing. Like, look at us. Who would have thought, huh? Look at us here. Look at us here. That's exactly how I feel, because at the beginning of the year, it's all, even the most optimistic Devils fan could not have pointed out how this season ended up. And I don't think any of us here in this podcast could honestly say, like, yeah, we thought they'd be a 111-point team and 51 wins, matching a.
Thought they'd be where Florida is right now. That's where I thought.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
We would have been happy
around
with that.
area.
We would have been happy with that.
Ecstatic with that. Yeah, exactly. With like, hey, development Jack is coming around, and some of these guys are looking okay. And now it's like, damn, dude, Jack's a superstar. Like, this team is actually here. Like, it doesn't feel. In the beginning of the year when they were on that 13-game heater, we kept saying, like, is this real? Is this real life right now? Or is this like smoke and mirrors, and is it going to blow up in our face one day? And I think the team showed consistency at being resilient. It's something that Scotty was hitting on before. The resiliency of this team is unbelievable. And there's a lot of guys on this team that go kind of unmentioned or not mentioned enough, like a Thomas Tatar. And I know a lot of people gave a lot of crap to Eric Halla, but those guys, Andre Palat might not be scoring a lot, but you could see the presence that he has. The team looks different, feels different, plays different. And I'm excited to see what they do in the playoffs, because I don't think it's going to be one and done. I think they're going to make a serious run at this. I don't know how far they'll get, but they're not going to just go in there and get their asses kicked in 5 games and then bow out of the first round like they did against Tampa Bay in 17-18. So it's an exciting time of year.
Jack is officially tied. This guy.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's true.
With 2 games to go, is officially
2 games
tied.
to go.
Which will not. The last thing I'll say too is when Taylor Hall won the Hart Trophy in that season, the 17-18 year. Let's not forget that he had 94 points in that season. So for anybody that's saying that, yes, Connor McDavid should get it, which he probably will, let's take a good old look at what Jackie Boy's been doing, because he's been helping his team get a long way. But anyways, go ahead.
Between the two of you, you've basically said everything I wanted to say. I'll add it was good to finally get some consistency in goaltending this year. We weren't running through goalies like paper plates, which is very good. Aside from that, I'm right there with you. I would have been super happy with a wild card spot, but hell, I'll take second in the Metro, pushing for first, and everything else you guys said. So I'm going to end with this. Everyone that's listening, if you're in the area, come out Thursday night for the viewing party at Stagehouse Tavern in Mountainside. Come see us. Come see Arlette. Listen to Arlette sing. And then come watch the game with us against the Washington Capitals on Thursday, last game in the season. Come out Thursday night, 6 o'clock, Stagehouse Tavern in Mountainside.
All right.
There you go, Sam.
I was hearing sirens in the background. I wasn't sure.
That's me at the hospital.
Oh, okay.
I'm right by Cedar Sinai.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know you may have the paparazzi outside and,
Right, yeah.
Outside the palatial estates.
Yeah.
My paycheck to paycheck 1-bedroom apartment here, yes. Yeah.
What you're seeing in that camera angle is about 50% of the apartment.
That's basically it, yeah.
And you're only seeing one corner, so think about that.
I should turn this camera around one day and disappoint everybody.
You turn it around and it's just like you can see your feet, and that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
So you sleep in that chair too.
So, actually, there was somebody on Twitter, another podcast, that claimed that they knew this was going to happen. Predicting that the Devils would be over 100 points and blah, 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 blah. There are people that do predict that, but nobody would have ever predicted how mature this team has become, and just they're learning on the fly. And I don't think anybody wants this season to end. And but right now there's 2 more games left. The playoffs are upon us, and I think it's going to be a at least for the fans' sake, I think it's going to all bring us together. Because if it is Devils Rangers, round one, The Rock.
Sell your tickets. Do not sell your tickets to Ranger fans.
Yeah,
Please, for the love of God.
Yeah, and,
I don't care how much they're offering you. Please.
Yep.
Yeah. So and also, April 13th, Thursday, Mountainside, Stagehouse Tavern with Arlette. We'll be there. And also, I'll be there Tuesday night, Game Day Live and Devils After Dark at American Whiskey as well, as we're kind of prepping up for our playoff run. It's going to be fun. And also looking for guinea pigs. Reach out to me. You'll find me on Twitter at PrimetimeSamWoo for anybody.
Follow the hate mail.
Yep.
Follow the line of hate mail.
Half of them are. I don't even read them right now. I mean, but if you're going to a away game, on the road, on the playoffs, we want to see it. So reach out to me. But I'm just trying to hit that freaking button.
Trying to hit that button, that elusive button.
Yeah, that button. I almost played some ESPN football music. Wasn't looking. Eventually, I'll figure it out, guys. And again, once again, thank you to Max for that wonderful footage. Wonderful footage. All right, boys. Dropping the podcast at midnight. Keep it here. Till next time, let's go Devils.